Hey, what's up? Hey, this is Jeffrey Morris, Jeffrey Curtis, and hey, celebrate, woohoo, woohoo. I just passed my multiple subject credential Csets, all 3 of them. Yay, I'm so happy. It took me a while. But I thought I would take this chance and go over some of the stuff that I use to study and review these study resources. The first book that I got was this book, right? The test prep book. It was okay. I mean, it's got a lot of material and it covers a lot of stuff, and it sort of is in depth. I found that it wasn't as good for 1 and 3, tests 1 and 3, but test 2 it was really good for. So the math and science it was really good for. The other one I bought was this one, the Cliffsnotes, and this book is superior. It's superior to the other one. I mean, it has a lot more questions and a lot more written stuff and a lot more tests and it's a lot more broader scope than the other one, but it doesn't cover enough of the stuff for the science. Well, I should say biology specifically, right? Because when I took my Cset test, they asked a bunch of questions about like the pulmonary system and the lungs and stuff, and the Cliffsnotes really didn't cover that, but the Red Book did, right? It did. And so I would say the Cliffsnotes is the best, but the Red Book helps a lot better with the math and science because it goes deeper in depth in areas, in biology specifically. But I know, that was just the luck of the draw, those questions that you get for the written. Mine happened to be that, and that was covered better inside of the Red Book, I know. And other things that I used, I used 240 tutoring. Here we go. This is what it looks like inside. Here, let me go back one. So when you go in, it looks like this. And then you can click on, I'm still gonna do a couple others because I'm gonna get a single credential in math, and I'm gonna get a single credential in music, and I might get a single credential in PE, but I doubt it. But just in case, on top of my multiple. So, and then of course the RECA, right? So the RECA, this helps you study the RECA too, which the other 2 books don't do. And I have a friend that I work with that passed all the 3 multis and never could pass the RECA. So I don't know, I'll study the RECA through this and other ways, and we'll see what happens. But hopefully this next year I'll be interning, and that'll make it a lot easier. Don't forget that you can go right to the Ctc Exam Site, and you can get a review practice test for 1, 2, and 3 right here. And I took those also. I downloaded those and took them until I could just answer them without missing any. Each time I could practice taking those tests, answer them without missing any, and answer those other things. By the way, if you pass these tests, the final exam on each one of these areas with a 90% or above inside of 240 tutoring, and you fail your Cset test, they will reimburse you the cost of your Cset. So if you pass with a 90% or above on their test and still fail the Cset, they will reimburse the cost of the Cset. And so at least that's what I understand, but I never failed, so I never had to use that. Another area that I used was I think for the PE one, I made my own questions, right? I just took all the questions that were in for PE, music, and art, and all the resources that I had, and I created a bunch of quizzes and got it to where I could just go through those. And I can't give you access to this, so don't ask, because the server that this is on, I don't know, I pay for it and everything, but as soon as I log on here, it just runs out of resources and it lags and it's really bad. And I talked to them. I'll have to change service providers to fix that if I want it fixed, but I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, so I just wanted to take a second and talk about those 3 things. They were really helpful for me. Now, a lot of people are able to come out and just whip those tests right out. I didn't do it that way. I took studied for one test, took one test, studied for one test, took one test, studied for one test, took one test. Took a lot longer, but I was working also while I done that. So, and because the way I done things, I have 0 debt, right? So right now I have to go into my credentialing program now, and so this will be the first debt that I incur on this whole journey. And I'm going to go into Cal State Teach, which is charge me about 10 grand, versus some of the others, they're charging. I know Brandman, where I got my bachelor's, they want $30,000 for the credentialing program, and I'm not going to pay them that, right? So hey, but anyway, so in order, I think the Cliffsnotes book was the best. Coming in second, I think the 240 tutoring was second, because it was very broad, right? And it had a lot of study question flashcards and everything, so it was really good. In third is the Red Book, right? The Red Book, except for the science and math, the biology and the science and math, it covered that best out of all 3. The biology area, right? If you're talking about the other areas of science like physics and chemistry and everything, it didn't cover that as well. But the Red Book did cover the biology area a lot better than the others. And then coming in last, CTC Exams, right? The practice test, right? I mean, you take it. Listen, all 3 times I've took those tests, and I have all these resources, and I have all these practice tests, and not once was there a question from any of the practice tests on any of the tests. Not once. It was like, oh my gosh. There were some that were close, but none of them were, it's like, okay. Obviously, the idea for this studying is just to accumulate as much knowledge as you can and carry it with you so that you are ready for anything when you go in for those tests. And don't think that you're just going to fly right through them, because, I thought I was going to fly right through most of them, and it was, this last one I questioned. Because I know I missed at least 3, right? Because I pinpointed, I remembered the right answer after I walked out, and I was like, oh, that was wrong. I answered that one wrong. And so but I didn't miss enough to fail, so I probably pulled a B. That's my average. So, all right. I hope this helps you. And you know what? California needs a bunch of good teachers. And go for it and try to have fun, and don't teach for the money, right? Because you're not going to make it. If you got a bachelor's degree in business or something, you can make a lot more money doing something else, right? But if you want to make a difference in children's lives and in society, teaching is a good way to do it. And I've already worked my whole life in construction and everything, and now I just want to do something else that has impact, working with people, and also make a decent wage if I can. So I thought, teaching is a good way to do that. All right. See you later. Have a great day.